On March 28th, where the United States Congress voted to repeal the privacy regulation of FCC, which means our country, United States, is one step closer to legally monitoring their citizens. For those of you who don't know what's FCC, usually you will see it on the back of your digital device. It is the Federal Communication Commission Department of the government, where they regulate digital devices, internet service providers, and television, those kind of communication companies. So without the privacy regulation, now those companies can reuse your personal information, sell them, or do anything without sending you any warrant. I also looked into the mass surveillance in any other countries in the world. There's red zone like Russia, Iran, India, where they actually pass laws for government to legally monitoring their citizens, which they diminish privacy as a civil right. And there's so little green countries where they actually recognize privacy as a civil right. And the United States, we're in orange, or we're moving towards the red zone. I'll give you one example. Uber used to sell the data of their passengers to the government, which showing where the location is, where those passengers take the Uber, and where they go to. Fortunately, this project was shut down because of the privacy regulation. But now this is repealed, so we can guarantee applications like this will come out again. Especially, Uber just came out really bad news this week about privacy, you know. So in the short future, there's more scary stuff could happen. In the physical space where I can think of where they actually monitor people 24/7 is prison. But unfortunately in digital world, we're all being watched in a space like this. So I wanted to talk about today my thesis project, Anti-Surveillance. My name is Zhi Yu. So before I actually start, I also want to recognize that we enjoy those services with giving our personal data, right? For example, we share our locations to get a better transportation experience. We share our taste to get a better restaurant recommendations. Or we can share our photos and thoughts to better communicate with our friends and families. All those users of those services, they send their information to the internet server, which belongs to those companies, and NSA or government will force those companies to let them tap in the server to get information from the users. But how can they surveil 200 millions of United States citizens? The answer is they selectively target people by using keyword targets, which looking at what you have ever said, any sensitive words on the internet. Link analyze, where you have any kind of association with people who are already being a target. Another screening technique like face recognition or location. NSA also developing more technologies to surveil people or targeting people by how Silicon Valley's technology is improving, they're improving them as well. So after they selected the target list, they do data mining, find everything about those targets. Also, they track the internet of those targets, where they go, wherever they browse, what they do. So in the target list, there's definitely criminals, terrorists, and people like immigrants or people of color. But however, there's one more segment I really want to talk about, which are people who fight for freedom and equality. People who disagree with our current president, and the people who help others to reunite with their family. You know, those organizers or members are called social activists. They're a lot more likely to be targeted by the government just because they have different views than the government. And why they're important is because sometimes they can push a lot of social movement and help us to protect our civil rights. But if government find out before they actually take action, then those potential can be diminished. So I started to look into this group where there's organizers, personal protesters, and online activists. Fortunately, organizers I interviewed, most of them are really well protected, and they understand the surveillance system. They know how to protect themselves. But personal protesters and online activists are most likely lack of protection. They go to do action, they go to express their ideas without any protection. So this is why I designed an application, PrivacyButler. It's an application that protects people's safety by securing their online presence from being targeted by big corporations and the government. So let me walk you through some functions of PrivacyButler. So for example, Veronica is protesting for her daughter in the city hall. And then she wants to share with her friends only. And also she wants to share that she's around Civic Center, which is a powerful location, but not showing where exactly she is. So after she's settled, PrivacyButler will give her suggestion that we find out that she has sensitive information in people's photo. So PrivacyButler will suggest her to go to obscure faces. She can choose one or automatically secure all faces. After that, PrivacyButler will also suggest her to remove her personal data from those social networks she's going to share to, for example, her address on Facebook. You might think that it was a really long process for someone to take action in the protest. So don't worry. PrivacyButler will offer protest protection mode, where when you turn it on, you just need to care about what text you want to put, what attachment you want to add on, and then PrivacyButler will take care of all the other safety process. As I mentioned before, the NSA also target people by if you have any kind of a connection to them. So even though you follow people online, so if you want to follow some activists without being targeted, you can use PrivacyButler to do it. Or if you want to see what Trump is talking about, but you don't want to be his follower, right? So you can put it here. PrivacyButler also shares with you tips and suggestions for you to use any other better communication tools to communicate with friends and families, but also tips to help you prepare or protect yourself in daily life or when you attend a protest. There's a lot more customization we allowed you to do, which you can customize your protest protection mode or use your own VPN if you don't like the one we offered. We also allowed you to monitor what data is being uploaded in the background and contact ACLU experts when you are in an emergency and protest. So where PrivacyButler lives is between you and the internet server. We want to help you to be less targeted and less tracked. We designed it specifically for social activists, but we also suggest anyone who sees injustice and wants to speak up to use PrivacyButler. At the end, I want to say this is just the beginning. It's just one tool to help people's privacy. And together, if we keep privacy in mind, we can protect our privacy, which means we can protect our civil rights. Thank you.